Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we're discussing the Grand Seiko Spring Drive Diver. This is the SBGA229 in stainless steel. Now, of course, there was a prior version of this watch signed Seiko up at 12 o'clock on the dial. That model would have been made pre-2016. The changeover to the new Grand Seiko branded dial came in 2016 when this SBGA 229 reference became the current model. So the Spring Drive Diver is large at 44.2 millimeters in diameter, 14.2 millimeters thick. From lug to lug, for just measuring the case, 50.8 millimeters. End length to end length, total distance across the wrist, 53.1 millimeters, with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. You can see this is a very deluxe clasp. We have a clamshell lock. We also have a twin trigger release. Very secure. We'll throw this burly steel machine on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. And it wears large, but not too large. I would say if your wrist is my size or larger, it's actually going to fit quite well. Throwing it on, it's big, but it's big in a functional sense. Legibility is excellent. And you can see in profile, especially with the sloped bezel, it actually will fit better than you expect under a dress cuff. And a lot of that is because the case back is inset and cupped. So when it's on the wrist, it actually wears a lot thinner than its measured thickness. Taking a look over the top, and once again down the barrel. The bracelet features a conforming end link to mate it cleanly to the case. Then you can see there's a little bit of taper down toward the clasp. The bracelet features polished and satin links with a little bit of a rolled bevel on the edge of the flanking links, which are polished on their outer face. Now you can see here, the watch features a pin sleeve system for setting up the bracelet. So if you want to remove these links at home, you're going to need a block and a punch. Easy to get. You can order them and have them delivered in 24 hours from Amazon, but you will need a block and a punch if you want to remove or add these links. Now take a quick look. You've got a lot of adjustability here. For one thing, you've got 4 pairs of drillings, so you can use your spring bar tool to move the bracelet anchoring point inside this side of the clasp. When you rotate to the other side, you can see that we've got a little system. You lift these 2 tabs, and now you have the ability to move this in and out, and there's a huge amount of adjustable length. Whether you just want to fine-tune or pull it out all the way to use over some sort of double-thick dive suit, you could be wearing both a wetsuit and a dry suit, and this will still expand enough to fit over. And what's nice here is because of the way the primary clasp opens up, the extensible clasp can be adjusted when the watch is on the wrist. And that's a nice feature because you don't want to drop this watch in a deep water marine environment. So you have the ability to make those adjustments when this thing is being worn. Taking a look at the case, you've heard of Zaratsu polishing by now. Certainly, you're watching a Grand Seiko video. It is a tin plate mirror polishing technique that is done by hand, eye-hand coordination and craft knowledge, and it takes about 3 years to master this art. And although the Zalitz machines and the techniques are actually of European origin, the foremost practitioners of this art are now the folks at Grand Seiko. And it's important to note that this level of hand finishing on a watch in this price point is not something you'll find in Switzerland on competing products. Taking a look, we have a little bit of a bevel, and then we have satination for contrast. You can see that the bezel itself features a combination of satination and polish. It's an easy bezel to grip. It favors refinement over every other quality. It feels so light, it's almost like it sucks itself in the direction you're turning it. It jumps with alacrity. And it has a very precise but subtle gliding 120 click action. The bezel insert is ADLC, so amorphous diamond-like carbon. It's not ceramic, but it also can't fracture like ceramic, and that's the idea. It is super hard and scratch resistant. We'll do a lume shot now. And as you can see, there's no shortage. The counterweight to the seconds hand is lumed, and that's something I find important on divers, because if you really are going to use this as an instrument for diving, you really need to know that your dive timer, or more likely your backup dive timer, is functioning. With that broad arrow minute hand, it's easy to spot the bezel pearl and judge the passage of time. And I've always preferred dive bezels to chronographs. Easier to read, and also less cost to service down the line. We have an unusual use of a cathedral-style hour hand. Common in older pilot's watch designs, it's uncommon on a dive watch. And then you can see that the hands, the hours and the minutes, they are satin finished to reduce glare. Grand Seiko dials are of very high quality, and you can see that continues here with a multiplicity of finishes, materials, textures, tones, and colors. You see the characteristic glide of the spring drive seconds hand. Because the spring drive movement has no lever, no tick, no tock, and no escapement. That is a truly smooth glide. It's not even like a Bulova Precisionist. It is truly smooth. There is no stop and start. We have a chaptering outboard against which you can read the minutes and the seconds. We have a little date hiding there. Power reserve indicator. The watch is automatic winding. It's got a 72-hour power reserve. There are 2 subsidiary setting modes for this 200-meter diver. First, you notice we do have a screw-down crown. We have hacking seconds, so you can set the watch to a reference time. And then we've also got a quick set for the date, so you can rapidly cycle that if you need to do so. The watch features a spring drive caliber 9R65, which includes fully mechanical drive of the hands. So there's a spring, a drivetrain, and ultimately the hands. There's no motors in there. There's no power capacitors, there's no battery. It uses spring energy to drive the train, which turns a governing wheel that creates an induced electrical current that activates the quartz oscillator that ultimately times this thing and keeps it accurate to 15 seconds a month. As the oscillator, which is super high frequency quartz, regulates the discharge of the spring energy, it uses electromagnetic braking to slow down the governing wheel, which is in turn geared to the hands. So you have fully mechanical drive of this hand here. So it's the best really of quartz and mechanical, and it's a lifetime movement, not just the lifetime of the owner, but the lifetime of the watch, which may span several human lifetimes. It's 30 joules. It is watchmaker made, watchmaker serviced when the time comes. It is not consumer electronics. And it is a very unique signature of Seiko's universe of watches, as I believe only ETA at the experimental level and Piaget in very limited numbers even attempted to duplicate this technology, which required from 1977 to 2005 to bring to market in automatic winding form like the 3-day power reserve movement you see right here. So reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details of this mechanical marvel.